Hi everybody, my name is Luba Carlson with Designs by Luba, and Melissa asked me to talk to you guys about how I use creativity for stress relief, and it seems to be a very important topic nowadays. It's been big for everybody right now, and I think 2020, if nothing else, it's a big year for self-awareness and self-growth and helping yourselves learn how we can um, how we can help ourselves by ourselves and not relying on something else out there. So excuse me, I'll move this just a tidbit. There we go. So first of all, thank you to Melissa for having me here in this group. I've known Melissa for years. We have been introduced to each other in a homeschooling group, and 2020 had brought like lots of challenges to all of us, right? But it also brought some blessings, and Melissa is one of my blessings for 2020. We became pretty close friends, and I'm very grateful to have her in my life. So, talking about creativity, it's a huge topic, and stress relief is another huge topic. I'm gonna try and kind of condense this all into um, short video. I don't know how long this is gonna take, but I have some notes over here. So if you see me looking down, that's my notes. So I did not, deviate from the topic. Sometimes that happens. So, first things to start with is that God is the main creator. And since this is a Christian group, this is something that I hope we all agree with, that the main creator is God. And He created us in His image, which means that every person has a creativity spark in them. Now, growing up, we all went through some sort of art classes at school, or maybe even something more involved. And we all had to go through this decision process when we decided that I am creative, I am not creative, or we decided I'm not an artist or I am an artist and I want to keep doing this. Around 10 years old, every person starts to relate themselves to the society they live in, and we start to try to conform to the society and to the expectations. And it is around the 10-year-old mark when it becomes very important for us to be accepted in the group. And if we're not good enough, uh, somebody told us we're not good enough, we told ourselves we're not good enough, we can stop doing some activities like altogether, right? So I believe that creativity doesn't have, it's not just creating art, it's not just paints and brushes, it's so far beyond that. It's some people like using paper and glue, for others it's excuse me, yarn and fabric, and for somebody it's dance, and for somebody else it's music, and for somebody else it's the art of the word, how words can influence other people's minds, and like painting pictures with words, which is amazing to me. um there's so many ways to be creative that we have in our lives, and I think that it is that is in the act of selfless creating that gets us closer to God. And so when you try and think about creativity, used for stress relief, you need to know a few things. So one is that your brain has a certain power, right? And your brain can try and work on many things at the time, or at least we were told that it can happen. And I believe that stress most often is caused by our attempts to multitask. And we have been told that we can multitask like on 7 different planes at the same time. Like you can do 7 different things and you'll be fine. This is wrong. This is not true. In reality, the studies were done about that, and so it's been proven that the brain can deal with 3 problems at a time. 3. Okay? So if you are, let's say, what do we look at here? So let's say your brain, right now, you're worried about your job, right? And your kids are at home, and you're virtual schooling or homeschooling. That's already 2. And then on top of that, you have no idea what to make for dinner. That's your 3. That's it. You're done. Like, once you start piling up things on top of that, that's the stress. That's where it starts coming on. That's the things that I can deal with it. I cannot bear it. It's too much. And the brain goes into this fight or flight mode. It starts developing bad hormones and everything. If you haven't watched one of those, Melissa posted a live talking about hormones and cortisol, I think it's called, and how it all influences and affects our lives. So when we try to multitask, this is the source of your stress. Sometimes, and sometimes not, but most of the times, at least for me, it is true. And so creativity is something that requires you to slow down and be present at the time when you're trying to be creative. Let that sink in. You have to slow down to do something like that. Whether it's music, whether it's dance, or you're painting, or you're drawing, or I don't know, trimming bushes outside and like putting them in this like certain shape, or just, raking leaves in the yard because you want your yard to look different. It requires your presence. You have to be there to do this. You can't be somewhere else. And this is how creativity helps, because it takes all of these upteened tasks that you have and it puts them to the side, and it allows your brain to just work on one thing only, your creative project. And while that happens, the miracle happens. I call it a miracle for myself, because the brain doesn't just shut down. It doesn't put things away like in a box, right? And close the box, put it away. It doesn't happen like that. What happens is that your brain takes the assessment of the issues that you've been working on, and it decides on its own, what is the most important, and it puts it on the back burner. And while you are being creative and releasing happy hormones, your brain is working on things that need to be worked on the back burner, in the background. So being creative, it's like the best way to stress relief for me. Okay, I apologize. I did ask my kids to be quiet, but you know, we are homeschooling, so that's what's gonna happen, right? Hey guys, they forget. Like, they hear me talk and they know I do love, but they forget that I can, like, you guys can still hear them. So, I guess what I wanted to bring to you here is an idea of intentional creativity, going into your creative zone with an intention. Why am I doing this? What what results am I seeking? What what do I want to gain? And that's okay to want to gain something from this experience, right? I did notice that, like in the last few months, lots and lots of people share that they have a lot of anxiety, and it's not just anxiety. Anxiety is not a just, I have anxiety too, and it's no fun. But it's not only anxiety, it's the fact that the narrative for our normal had changed. uh, we used to, have, I don't know, husbands go to work outside of the house. We used to have activities that kids would participate, and we would have some free time. We used to, to have other things that we did. And now we're all like at home, and we don't have as many social outlets, and we just need personal space sometimes. And your creative outlet can provide you with that so much needed personal space. So, how I do this, I literally tell my family that I need to have some time alone, and they need to find something else to do that doesn't require me. And I just, I close the door or whatever I have, and I work on what I want to work on. And I believe that anybody can do this. It's yeah, it's a process, and sometimes they don't understand, and do not support. But if you are being loving and caring and present, um, most of the time, they will be okay letting you have some time by yourself, to have your creative process, whatever it is you're doing. um, I also hear sometimes that being creative is messy, and it requires a lot of space. So I'm gonna tell you this: it can be messy, and it can require lots of space, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. When I just started my creative journey, I just had a little. I had a sketchbook, and I had a set of pencils in the pouch, and that was it. And I could draw anywhere. I would sit and draw anywhere. So maybe if you have some things that you like to do, maybe they could go in a basket or in a box, or some sort, like, or I don't know, even a tote bag. And maybe you could just pick it up and take and sit somewhere where you want to be, and then put it all back there and put it away. It doesn't have to be like elaborate and so involved. I also hear very often people telling me I couldn't draw a stick person even if I wanted to. But it's not about that. Being creative is not about that. It's not about drawing a stick person. It's about your message you're giving to yourself about that stick person and what it means to you. So I'm kind of deviating here into my therapeutic arts. I am not an art therapist. I'm not licensed or anything, but art had helped me in so many ways, returning my sanity, helping me feel closer to God, and communicating with the Almighty in terms that I understand and that I feel, that I can share with others, like step by step, what I do, if they would be interested in it. And again, it's all about your intentions, guys. I cannot yeah, I cannot emphasize enough. It's all about your intentions. Why are you doing this? What are you gaining? What are you looking to gain from this activity? If you know why you're doing this, you will find that relaxing and helpful in all the ways. If you are doing this and you feel it, I forgot I had the timer. So, but if you're doing, like, you're trying to do something and there is resistance, step away and try again some other time, or maybe try something different. There is no right or wrong. Some people like photography and others like dancing, as I mentioned, and there is no right or wrong. The main point is that you get into this creative zone and you let your brain relax and put things in the back burner and just be there. Be there. When you find an activity, a creative activity that, like, you would set your timer and you'd say, okay, I need half an hour to do this. And you blink, right? You just blink and your half an hour is gone. That's your thing. That is your creative spark. That is your, like, your other way of communicating with the Almighty. So I hope this is helpful. I hope very much that this is helpful. I am open to um, talks and messages and whatever. So if you have questions, please reach out. All my groups are free. I'm doing this for free. Like, I'm not charging for this. This is, I feel like people need this. And so I'm happy to share what God had taught me in the last few years. I'm very happy to share with you guys. I think that's it. Yeah, so let me know. Get in touch. Thank you for having me. Again, hope this made sense. Okay, see you around.